Welcome back to the yard where faith and sports collide. I'm here with Tyrone Hopkins, and we're going to talk today about how faith and sports has collided in his world. T, take it from there, man. I know you were referencing the Lord and biblical principles in the first half, but how has faith and sports collided in your world?
You know, last of 11, we lived in church, so we didn't really know about anything but church growing up. In the church with mom always taking you there, and she was on every board, deacon board, choir board, and so we lived in the church. So when I started playing sports, it was just natural for me to just pray for anything that I wanted, but I wasn't into my word as much as I should.
Yeah.
The professional athlete or a college athlete, you're just so focused on you. You're not focused on the Lord. You're not focused on anything else, even though the Lord got you to that point.
Yeah.
I really start, focusing everything when the Lord set me down with injuries. I had knee injuries, knee surgeries, the appendix being, rupturing. And I said, Lord, what are you trying to tell me? And the Lord set me down and said, listen to me now. So I just started listening to the Lord, and he told me he just wanted me to give the younger community my testimony. And so how do I do that? I went through coaching to do that. Where I came from was basketball, so why not give back in that way? But give them the Lord also. So coaching at Horizon was perfect because I had a platform, because at City, you couldn't really give them that because it's a public institution, and me going to a public school, I couldn't give them that.
Yeah.
But Horizon provided that to me, and Horizon it opened me up spiritually. It let me know all my faults, and it was okay to have faults.
Yeah.
Coming from the inner city, I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. I've been in the street dealing drugs. I've been a thief. I've been a cheater. I've been every bad thing that a person could be.
Yeah.
But the Lord said, hey, I can use that for something greater than you. And so when that door opened for me to go and just give to the kids and give them my background, it shined a light on a lot of things for kids to see that it's okay that you messed up.
Yeah.
What do you do now? And sports really provided that for me, playing basketball and coaching basketball, to be able to pour into kids and plant seeds and be a witness for those kids, and the Lord blessed me throughout sports, being a part of 2 state championships at Horizon, one as an assistant, one as a head coach. It was just a blessing just to be a part of that.
You mentioned a couple things that I want to chat about. I really appreciate you mentioning. One, you mentioned the injuries, and how on paper that's something you don't want. On paper that's something that athletes, you hate it. You try to avoid it. But God is so good that he can take something like an injury that we want to avoid at all costs. But even through that, get our attention, right? And that happened with you. And another thing you said too is knowing and accepting you're not perfect. I think there's a lot of Christians, T, that want to put on this facade that they're professional Christians, right? That they got it all together, and that that they're doing so well with the Lord. And I found in my experiences when I try to connect with people, that's not what really gets people's hearts. It's when they hear our failures, our shortcomings, our humanity, and how God can even work through that. So those are 2 things that I think the enemy tries to use against you, like the injuries, your failures, but God is so good, he can flip them around. And you mentioned some of the things you got involved with. Some of the things I was involved with as a young man, I thought, man, I hope nobody ever finds out. And trying to live a life to kind of hide them, and things I did. Now, there are things that I talk to my own kids about, ways that I felt immorally sexually, that I hope nobody ever finds out about that. There's freedom now because God has forgiven me, cheating my way through the first half of college. You know what I mean? And man, I hope my kids never find it. Now I tell them about it, right? But the reason I can is because there's freedom, and even the scars that I have in my knee and my heart, I show them those scars to say, if you can avoid these things, but even if you get them, God is so good that through that pain, He can draw you closer to Him.
Yeah. Yes, just living the testimony is just something great when you look back at it, because who expected us to be here?
Yeah.
No one expected. My counselors in high school didn't expect me to be here. My fellow classmates wanted me to get right. They tried to encourage me, but me being so stubborn, I was born June 29th, I'm a Cancer, so I'm stubborn. So just being stubborn in all that I did, and want to take that rough path, and the Lord said, okay, I'm gonna let you take that rough path, but I'm gonna protect you through those things. That's the only way I survived it. Nobody else protected me. It was no physical entity that protected me from all the dangers that were in the streets and coming up. And throughout those injuries, like you said, the devil attacks your mind. Go back to doing what you used to do. Go back to doing that. Go drink this, go smoke that. But the Lord said, no, He's mine. He's mine. And so the devil he can't touch you.
Yeah.
And then once you realize that, you just pray. It started with prayer for me. It started with prayer. And as soon as I started to pray, the Lord opened up the doors for me. I didn't even ask for those. I was just saying, I love you, Lord. I thank you for all that you have put me through. Guide me.
Yeah.
As soon as I said that, doors start opening. I don't deserve this.
Yeah.
I don't deserve to live this life I'm living. I don't deserve to pour into the kids like the way I do. I don't deserve the respect from everyone around this county the way that I get it.
Yeah.
But the Lord says, I'm gonna show them that it's about me and not you. Nothing I do is ever gonna be about me in my life. From the time I start coaching, and I said that, I wanna love on people. I wanna be able to give to people. I wanna be able to leave a legacy that God is good.
Yeah, absolutely. We touched on it earlier on biblical principles, but I found that as I've drawn close to the Lord, a lot of these things that the world has to offer that on the surface level looks like fun.
Oh yeah.
And really is fun. And there's a reason why there's a lot of people sinning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Because sin is fun.
Oh yeah.
But the end result leads to death. And I have found that by avoiding sin, there's something even more fun than sin. Even though sin is fun, it's righteousness. Like the relationship I can have with my wife with no shame, with not hiding anything. Like that is enjoyable. The relationship I can have with my children that love me and I love them and we do life together, man, that is way more enjoyable than what the world has to offer through getting high, sexual immorality, corruptness, which I'm sure has its level of fun, but it fades away. What's nice, what I get to participate in, what you get to participate in, like you said, not only are you enjoying it, but has an eternal impact. And I find that such an amazing thing about living for the Lord.
Yeah, I found that sin wasn't genuine. Sin, you don't have genuine people around you when you're sinning. When you're living for the Lord, it's people that actually love you and that people that'll die for you and helping you and doing the things you need. To get to this point, I would have never been able to do this by myself.
Yeah.
The Lord put people in place for me to meet. And they helped me along the way because I'm just a dry sponge to everything. I'm a dry sponge, and if you have something where you can pour into me and I find it fruitful, I'm definitely going to soak that up, and I'm definitely going to be able to pass it along and give it to someone else. Just being genuine in all that we do. I don't try to give kids the Bible beat down because their attention span is from here to my end of my nose. So I tell them I love them. And then when they want to talk about some things, that's when I give them, where they need to go to find the answers.
And speaking about loving people, one of the things I really enjoyed a couple weeks ago, as we know this nation's been through some real difficult social issues, and so in the heart of it, where you can see the narrative that media was pointing to: are you on the black side? Are you on the white side? Are you on the progressive side? Are you the Republican side? Are you Trump? Are you Biden? Are you Black Lives Matter? Are you cops? Right? And there's all these divisions we were seeing, and it's happening now. Sadly, I remember going one Saturday to pick up some IQ barbecue, and in the middle of all that, right, as the nation's burning. I just sit back and watch for a while, T. And I saw old white women come up,
Oh yeah.
elated to see you,
Yeah.
tell them they loved you, you loved them. I saw Latinos coming up,
Yeah.
you running out there, giving them some love, giving them some food. I saw some brothers out there, right, excited to pick up their barbecue. I saw neighbors that didn't even know you really and didn't know the Lord, right? Come, dabble, get one burger, and then pick up 9 later, but through that building a relationship with you. And it's been really cool to see how God is using your business as a ministry as well.
Yeah, definitely. I don't live for the things of this world. And you know, the politics that are going on are about the things of this world. I think, you know, loving people is the way that we get through this. You know, I see all these different groups and different things. Love people. That's what it's about. People, you're gonna have people that'll do wrong. You're gonna have evil in this world. But you can't go into the extreme of going against. You gotta love everyone through it. You know, people are gonna show you their true character no matter what, but you still gotta pray for them. The Bible tells me to pray for my enemy. So I must pray for everybody.
Yeah.
I pray for everybody. You know, if someone attempts to do harm to me or my family, then it's a different thing, you know, because we're gonna protect ourselves, but I'm gonna love people no matter what. I'm gonna love humans. You know, black, white, Latino. I don't care where you're from. I'm gonna love you up, and if you eat, if you eat, then we're gonna have a great thing in common because I love serving people in that way. I use this platform as a barbecue is just to love people and show them through my food, through talking to them, through meeting me that I'm gonna love you because you took time out to come have a meal and break bread at my establishment, or you took time to drive down to our Savory Saturdays and just break bread. That means it's some love there. Some type of way of some love there. So that's a platform to me just to be a witness and tell people I think them, I love them. I don't have to know a person to tell them I love them. Hey, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you. So.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And for those of you guys, I'd love for you guys to commit to be praying for Tyrone, his family, his ministry, his business at IQ Barbecue. And as you can see, it's a different philosophy than probably most businesses. And I've seen it firsthand as well as a lot of people in my community, how God is using him. And maybe you're watching today and some of these things that you've heard are resonating with you. And maybe you're going through a difficult time or an injury or financial stress or just caught up in the politics of today that I'm not saying aren't important, because they're important for different groups of people, but beyond that, way more important is your relationship with God. And maybe you don't have that set. Well, I encourage you, if you want to taste and see that the Lord is good, as the Bible tells us, right there where you are, just invite God into your heart, or tell him to reveal himself to you, or maybe you need to recommit your life to the Lord and surround yourself with people that love you, that have a vested interest in making sure that you draw close to the Lord. I tell you what, we've tried the other way and it doesn't work. So I just encourage you, reach out to somebody that loves God, call a church, or right there, just in this moment, tell God to reveal himself to you, invite Christ into your heart, and experience what we get to experience. You guys, thanks for joining us today. I want to say a huge thank you to Christian Podcast Central to help support us. If you haven't checked out our YouTube channel, make sure you go there, like it, subscribe. You've got archives of every show, some behind the scenes stuff, some highlights as well. But once again, thanks for being in the yard. Tune in next week where we have another great episode, and hopefully I'm able to defeat yet another opponent that comes into this house. God bless you guys.
Wow.